In this video I'll show you one of the modifications I've done to my Korg Volca sample. It's adding a hold mute. Now what this basically does is, it acts the same when you switch it on, it acts the same as you holding the mute button down, because in all the Korgs that I've used, all the electribes and the Volcas, to engage the mute mode you have to actually hold it down and then individually select each channel to mute or unmute, as opposed to other drum machines where you press the mute button, you're in the mute mode, then you can individually select or deselect whatever channel you want to mute, and then to come out the mute mode you press the mute button again. The way the Korg does has its advantages and disadvantages, but for me I find it a disadvantage, because if I'm playing it live and I want to use some of the other knobs as I'm going, if I want to mute and unmute something, I'm using essentially one hand to do this, and I have to stretch over my other hand to unmute while I turn the knobs. With this switch added, I'm able to go into mute mode, individually assign one hand or a thumb even, and then just to unmute or to mute whatever I want, and I can use two hands on all the rotary knobs, because you've got EQs on this one and the other Volcas have stutter effects and other things which you need two hands for. And it's easy to, if you've got two hands freed up because this switch is engaged, you can turn these knobs or any of these and unmute things. It's probably best if I just show you how it works. Right, I'll load a track. I apologise for the quiet sound. The speakers actually, the Volca's in a case, so the speaker's at the bottom, so it's quite muffled. Okay, so to demonstrate the way, if you don't know the Volca series or the Korgs, to go into mute mode you have to hold this button down, and then you can select or deselect what you want, and when you let go it toggles off, on, off. And this can be quite annoying, but with this switch, when I switch it up, you see now we're in mute mode. And we can still cycle through the tracks. As you can see, this LED here indicates which track these affect, the potentiometers affect. And you can still cycle through the tracks while in mute mode, and that's by using these part select buttons. So I can select whichever track I want and edit the sounds live with these whilst still in the mute mode, and being able to toggle things on and off, tracks on and off. And the way I did this, it's just an on-off switch, but it's wired to the contacts of this button. I've got very fine gauge wire here, and I soldered onto the pads very carefully. I had to scrape away with a scalpel to reveal the tracks just before the pads, so not to affect the actual function of this, because this switch still works as if it would normally. And also when I switch it up, as you see, it goes into mute, unmute, no problem. And for me this makes it much easier, especially if I've linked this with another machine and my other hand is on another machine editing whatever rotary knobs I want, and then I can select, deselect whatever channel, and then mute off, and the system's back to normal. So if anybody wants more details on how it's done, maybe just leave a message or a comment below and I'll try to explain it. But it's essentially pretty simple. Just take it apart, find out the trace for this, scalpel, scratch off a little bit, and then solder on very neatly. You'll need probably to use some flux. I use flux. This helps it a lot, and a very fine gauge wire, and then just redirect the wire in here. You can see I've already done a MIDI out mod, so it's no problem. And obviously you have to drill a hole in here, put toggle switch in, and job done. Okay, thanks very much. Leave a comment below.